Hey, how you doing today? It's Jim Hall. Today we're going to be talking about Excel split first and last name. And the reason that you would want to do that is, let's say that your Excel came with, your first and your last name all on one line, and you want to actually separate that out into two lines. There's some simple ways to do that. And I'm going to go on with this is part 3 of a 10-part series, and I'm going to go ahead and load up what we've been working on so that you can see what it is. The way I go in when I start a new Excel, I come in here to Home, or maybe New. You might have to find it inside of New, but you're going to look for this right here where it says Take a Tour. Oops, let me grab my mic just in case I'm not out. Put it on here. And then inside of this page, you're going to find some actual instructions. And there's 10 parts in here, and I'm going to go through all 10 parts of these, and you can find the others over at a membership site that's free over at whoisjimhall.com. You'll see the membership says tutorial for Microsoft Excel. There's a button on the left-hand side. Let me show you that real quick. Oops, I don't have a window open. So when you go over to whoisjimhall.com, you'll see a little more information about me and my degrees and my daughter's degree. And right here, if you click on tutorial for Microsoft Excel, this will open up, and then you can play this video and you can see the past videos. You'll also be on my email list so you can find out when my next videos are coming. As you see, I have a couple going on so far. This is, like I said, this is video 3 of 10. All right, so let's get back into it. We will open up our Excel. And today we're on the 3rd page, so we're going to click right down here and go to the 3rd page. And we're going to talk about data stuffed into one column and how to split it. So in the cells under first name, you see here, so if you have your cells all set up and they've got first name, last name, and of course you've brought your stuff into this, and they're in here like this. And this is a really cool way to do it for emails also, to separate emails out. So it says type the first names that are in the email column, Nancy, Andy, and so on. So we come over here and we type Nancy, and then we go down and we type Andy, and that starts an autofill. When you see the faded list of suggestions, enter, just press enter right away. And then that will go ahead and pull those over there. This list of suggestions is called a flash fill. Flash fill detects when you are, let me shrink myself a little bit here. I'm a little big on the screen. It says there's not enough recurring data. Hopefully that clears up. It says this list of suggestions is called flash fill. Flash fill detects when you type a consistent pattern and provides suggestions to fill the cells with. When you see the faded lists, that's your cue to press enter. Try another way to flash fill. Click the cell with Smith. So we're going to click that cell, and then it says click home, fill, flash fill. Now what that means is, if you happen to not, this is called a ribbon, if you happen to not be on the ribbon where the home button is, then you want to click onto the home, and then you want to come over here to the fill, and then to the flash fill. And that will go ahead and fill the matched pairs of the last names over there. Now the last names are in their own column. Okay, now it says, good to know, Control E is the shortcut for flash fill. And usually if there's a shortcut, you can find it right here. You see where it says, if I move over, okay, flash fill, Control E. So you can start to slowly learn your shortcuts. Like Control C is copy and Control V is paste. Control X will cut. So there's quite a few that you can use. You'll start to learn them over time. I use quite a few of them. Split a column based on delimiters. So a delimiter could be a space or a comma, or basically, whatever you kind of use as a delimiter. You could set it up to be letters or anything like that. Flash fill is pretty handy, but if you want to split data into more than one column all at once, then it's not the best tool for the job. Try text to columns in this situation. So you see here how we have Nancy, Smith, and Contoso Limited. Click and drag the selected cells from Nancy all the way down to Yvonne. So we're going to click all of those. On the Data tab, so up here again on your ribbon, you're going to come up here to Data, and then you're going to go and click on the text to columns. Now this looks a little bit daunting, right? But now all you got to do is make sure that delimited is selected and then click next. Okay, so we want to go with delimited. Fixed width fields are aligned in columns with spaces between each field. So if they had just spaces, then you'd want to use fixed width. But now we're using delimited, and then it's going to ask you, how are they delimited? What is it in between them, right? So then it says, under delimiters, make sure that comma is the only checkbox selected, and then click next. Now this is only if they're delimited by commas, right? You can see you could use tabs, you could use semicolons, you could use colons, you could use space, you could use other, and basically you could put anything you wanted in there. Sometimes you've got quotes around them, so stuff like that could be a reason to use an other. So in this instance, we're going to use the comma, and as you see, that's going to start to separate them out. And then we're going to see what it says. It says in the only checkbox, make sure that the comma is the only checkbox selected, and then click next. Click the general option. So on the next page, we're going to click next, and then we're going to click general. And then finally click inside the destination box and type. Now it's important that you put these dollar signs. So we want to come in here and we want to type $D, $32. You may have never seen the dollar signs in there before. That basically says we want to fill this down and we want to fill it over as much as it needs. To keep that simple. That's a way to indicate multiple cells, basically. And then we're going to click finish. And then that's there's already data there. Do you want to replace it? It didn't say anything about that. Let's go ahead and replace it. Okay, so we went ahead and replaced it. And now it says, worth exploring. There's another way of working with data. You can query an external source and you can split the data that comes from the source. You do that once and the data is refreshable and easy to work with from that moment on. Curious? Click the Data tab and then explore the options in Get and Transform area, or see the link at the bottom of the sheet. So we're going to go back to the data. We're on the Data tab, right? And then we're going to find. I've never done this actually. The Get and Transform. I mean, I probably have. So here's the Get and Transform, and then explore the options in the okay, so it's just saying from text, from web, from table range. So it just depends on how you're going to end up getting your data. So this isn't anything really new to me. Just I wasn't quite understanding what it was saying. So then we're going to come on over here and we're going to say split a column with formulas. So this is where it gets pretty technical, right? If you had a whole bunch of different things, and that's why I like to use this sheet, because I could show you this, and without you having a real example, it's hard for you to really duplicate what I'm doing. But this sheet lets you really do that. And again, this is already in your Excel. It's nothing I made. It's already in there for you to use. I'm just walking you through it so that there's, so I can add a little bit to it, and I can show you a few of the little things that are harder to do, help you with some of the shortcuts. You might want to try to write a formula to split data. This way, if the original data gets updated, then the split data will get updated as well. This is more advanced, but it is possible when using a handful of functions: left, right, find, and len. For more information on each of these functions, see the links at the bottom of the sheet. But if you're curious, here's how we split cell C56. So C56, let's find it here. This is our C column. And this is our 56, so we can come right over here. So this is how they split this apart from, looks like, from this. So it looks like they used it pretty technical for what it was, but doing it this way will let you learn how to do it, let you split up basically any kind of data that you have in there. So it says, double click the yellow cell with Yvonne. So we're going to double click here, and it's going to show you there. We used the left function to extract characters from the left side of cell C56. So they're talking about these left side cells, okay, and to specify the number of characters to extract. So that's a little bit weird, maybe. I don't know. we used the find function. Read the how it works diagram, and then press escape when you're done. So how it works says extract character S from the left of this cell and extract this many characters to specify the number of characters. Use the find function and find the first space in this cell, then subtract 1 to exclude the space itself. So it's basically it's learning how to find exactly how many are there. So again, this is a pretty advanced one, but just knowing this is available will help you in the future to be like, I know there was a way to do that. Maybe you got to go to Google and figure out how to split a column with formulas, but at least now you know that you can split a column with formulas. Or maybe you come back here to this sheet that you've gone through 10 times with me and find these kind of more advanced formulas, okay? And then it says, then we create a helper column. This was just to help extract the other text in the cell. It's meant to be temporary and something one could always hide later. Double click the Francis McKay in the helper column. Okay, so the helper column, oops, we got to escape out of here. This is the helper column, and it says here then, in the helper column, you'll see that we used the write, the len, and the find functions to extract characters from the first space up until the end of the cell. Double click Francis, here we used, okay, so we got to escape out of here, and we'll double click on Francis. And it says here we used almost the same formula as in step 1, but instead of extracting characters from C56, it extracts them from F56. So we start extracting them from this column, okay? And then it says to double click on McKay, and it says here that this is the same formula as in step 3, but it extracts characters from F56 instead of C56. So it's the same, I mean, that means it's the same exact one, right? It's a little bit different, I think. Yeah, it's pretty similar. So this is how it works. Extracts characters from the right side of this cell, and extract this many characters to specify the number of characters. Use the len feature. That's the length feature, right? So, and then get the count of characters, the character length of this cell, and subtract this number, and find the character position number of the first space in this cell. So what's really cool about that is if you wanted to do this, if you wanted to use this formula, you could type up here equals write, and it will start to give you the information that you need. When you put in this, it will say up here, you can see, it says you need some text and you need some number characters. So it starts to fill in your formulas for you and at least reminds you, right, of what it is that you need to make this formula work. So that's all of that one today. Let's see if we have anything more. It says more information on the web, split text into different columns, all about get and transform, all about the left function, all about the right function, all about the find function, all about the len function. And maybe we'll come back through and do some of these after we get through these 10 kind of basic steps, because these get pretty drilled down, and it'll get really confusing fast. And the reason I'm using this page on your computer is so that this stays really simple. I want to stay with pretty short videos so that you can work through them. And then actually on whoisjimhall.com, when you go through there, I have all of these in steps, and there's actually a delay. You get locked out of it for a little while so that you can't just blitz through and get confused and get too much data all at the same time. So go over there to whoisjimhall.com. I showed that page. It's gone again right here. And you can find that information. And as you see, when you first load it up, it'll give you a timer there, and then I'll email you the next day and let you know that your timer has worked itself down and that you can come back in here and view it again. And then also check out my bonus videos on every page of the Home Business Academy Funnel Page Builder. This is how I end up monetizing this membership. And you can get the funnel builder for $25 a month. It costs you no extra, and I make an 80% commission on that. So that's how I'm monetizing these videos, and that's what I do for a living, is help people with that. And if you wanted to help people with that as well, you could make 80% commissions also, and I'll help you with that as well as being a part of my team member. We can get on a live kind of like this and go through, and I can show you exactly some of the things that I do and how I've made a full-time income from home over the last year or so, just using those tools. All right, that's all I have for today, and I will see you soon.